I have to say, this is kind of like all the fall colors right here. Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I wanted to do kind of a quick where I am with planners and things. So you'll notice I have a few extra things here because I have gone back to a few things, made some changes as far as where stuff lives. It's the same information, but it's just in a slightly different place. So let me actually start with these two because these will probably be faster and show you kind of what I am doing in here. So this is a Hobonichi Weeks that I have had all of this year, and mostly I haven't really been using it. I've just been putting the Cocoa Daisy monthly stickers in here. I've used it a little bit, but not a ton. But I got to thinking this week that I don't like carting a bunch of stuff around when I am kind of at night just reflecting on my day. So these two planners were kind of living next to my bedside for that reason. But I got to thinking, this is so much smaller than this. And this, I don't know if you can see, has like little scratches, which don't bother me. But this gets beat up as I put it in and out of the purse I'm using right now, which has a zipper top. So I am thinking I'm just going to use this kind of as a out and about kind of quick way to look and see what I have going on if I need to make an appointment, sort of a planner. So I filled out kind of the bare minimum of information on these pages, and that's mostly because I just need to see, for instance, if I'm like, I need to make a hair appointment, what days do I have available? What do I have stuff going on? So that is pretty much what this is being used for here. And then on the weekly pages, what I am doing is kind of doing more of a tracking sort of situation. And this is, I'm playing with it this week. So, yeah, if you saw my community post, my husband got me sick last week. He came down with a cold because he got chilled. I got the cold, and of course it always seems to last longer for me. So if my voice sounds a little strange and I suddenly am cutting myself in and out, it's probably because I'm still in that awkward coughing sort of phase. But anyway, the things I wanted to kind of track is kind of in general what my mood is like, what I'm doing for exercise that day, my energy level, which I pulled this number out of my sleep tracking app, which auto sleep. That's this one right here. So I use that with my Apple Watch to track kind of how I'm sleeping and everything. And then DS is daily score. So this is something I got from August Bradley, talking about rating yourself 1 to 10, 5 being an average day, and then making a note as to why you scored yourself that way. So I've started doing that, and this looked really messy, and I thought, you know, if I'm going to be taking this out, it would be nice to have kind of a general idea of what the week's going to look like. So I sectioned off this side, appointments here, tasks here, and then on this side is where I'm doing the writing, because honestly, this is all the room I really need, and I can always write over here if I need to. So for the next week, I've kind of set it up like this so that I can just fill this out. And because I do write some duplicate information, even though this is going to be a plan with me, I'm not going to make you watch me fill it out multiple times. So anyway, now the Hobonichi Cousin I had kind of abandoned in favor of my half letter disc bound, because I'd found pages that looked like this that fit in the half letter disc bound that were working really well. But I switched back to doing the journaling in here. The boxes here are smaller, so I can actually fit more, even though it's approximately the same size. And honestly, I do sometimes take the half letter out of the house with me. I don't need my journal stuff going out of the house with me on a day-to-day basis. So I am just keeping it in here now. Usually I write about this much. Yesterday I had a migraine pretty much all day long. Same thing with Friday, which kind of sucked because that was my birthday. But our weather has been all over the place, and so have my migraines. They have decided to come back and visit. Anyway, so on to the things that I am using more planning wise rather than just reflecting. So I kind of have things divided up, planning versus reflecting. So this I have a new cover for, I think it's Gabriella. It's a new color that was just released by Planner Perfect. It's kind of a nice burnt orange color, which is ironic. And this is probably more of a Texas thing. I went to A&M, so the fact that I am having burnt orange anything is amusing because that's the colors of our rival school. But anyway, I love this color for fall, and I have this color in ring planners from Filofax, and since I'm not using rings, I wanted to get a cover in this color for my traveler's notebooks. So same setup, not much has changed here. I've just changed out the tip-in cards. Still using this somewhat the same way. I just need to fill in my September goals here. Otherwise, this is just a normal monthly spread. For my September book, I've gone ahead and set this up. I wanted to film this last week, like a full setup with me, but I was just not feeling good. And I still needed to kind of get going on my month. So last month I left this blank because I thought I was going to use it for kind of writing down what we ate. But that did not work. So I just went back to recording things that are going on, because that way I have all that information in one book. Yes, I have this 12-month, but this is more of a plan ahead sort of a book, and this is more of a, now I have a book to keep so I know what was going on. I did start to fill out kind of weekly goals in this section last month. I obviously have not done that this month. I don't know that I'm going to. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to use this for right now. I also keep reminding myself I don't have to use every single page. If I use all but 4 or 6 pages, that's okay. So for the weeks, this was last week here, and I started using these tip-ins for kind of what our meal ideas were for the week, mainly because I have to keep pulling out my phone, pulling out a variety of things just to kind of get what our meal plan is. It is back here also, but I like just having it set up here along with the week so I can take a look at it. So this is how my week ended up. Just kind of the normal things. And so we are here. It's Sunday. No, it's not Sunday. It's Monday. Monday the 5th. It's Monday. It is Monday. I have the day off. It's Labor Day here in the United States. So that means that today is a little sparse. I have not done meal planning yet. I was going to do that yesterday along with grocery shopping, but again, yay, migraines. So, and normally I just get the migraine aura. Yesterday, I actually got the headache as well. I don't get it as badly as some people do where they have the sensitivity to light, movement, that sort of thing. I've had one of those and that was not fun. But I still was just in bed pretty much all afternoon. So anyway, as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to do meal planning and then I'm going to get out and get grocery shopping so we have food for the week. So this book, I've been talking about how I want to set it up, and I finally got around to doing this a couple weeks ago. So this is the quarterly book that I am putting together. I have not consolidated my goals for autumn yet. I don't need to sit down a little bit more and figure out what that's going to look like. But other things that I did put in here, I have my autumn bucket list. So these are things that I want to do. I have my AM and PM routines, which these are kind of the basics. And I did try to leave a little bit of room because I may rearrange these a little bit. This was more of kind of what my summer routines look like. And I'm not sure if I want to change these or if I'm going to leave them as is. So this is what my week tends to look like as far as weekly blocks. It's looking like I'm going to be finished with my real estate classes in probably like first week or 2 of October. So I may actually do another spread of these without the studying in it. So, but for right now, this is kind of what my week looks like. I do want to go back and fill in a Sunday checklist. Home cleaning and projects. This is just kind of a list that I've started broken down by area of things that I want to get done. I have a meal plan template, pantry stock up list, and then seasonal meal ideas. Honestly, this meal plan template is essentially this thing back here. So just if I'm out of ideas of what I want to eat, I kind of have like a general daily theme, so this is probably what I'm going to write in there. Garden plans, just have barely started this. Mainly bush beans I know I want to replant because they were just about ready and then they got eaten when it got really hot and really dry this summer. So I think we have another round that we can do if we plant them quickly. So I know that's one thing I want to put in. I'm going to look and see if there's, actually that should be spring bulbs that I want to plant. And then I did buy peonies. They did not get planted. I have not been brave enough to look and see if they're still any good or not, but if they are, now's the time to plant those. Business ideas, a spot for that. September goals, which I need to write in because I just finalized these. And then just ideas for things. This is kind of how the setup's going to be. My birthday was this last weekend. Got a few things done. Didn't do all the things that I necessarily wanted to do. We did go out. Did have a massage. I took a nap, mostly because I had a migraine. And we didn't get out to the botanical gardens or the woodshed, but that's fine. These were just ideas. Today is Labor Day, and actually, my husband is smoking a pork shoulder, so. My mom's birthday's at the end of this month, and then I have October goals, husband's birthday, Halloween. Actually, I have quite a few friend birthdays here, but I won't necessarily need to dedicate a full page. Then I have November goals, a couple pages for Thanksgiving. I will be at the National Apartment Association Assembly of Delegates meeting, so that's a little less than a week. So that'll be, you know, travel arrangements, packing list, things like that. I left a few extra pages, and then the second half of the book I set aside to start working on Christmas plans and ideas. So that essentially is what comes at the end of autumn, so I'm going to be working on that. I did end up getting another Planner Perfect book solely for Christmas, just so I have that because we'll be home and be nice to have a place to kind of keep all that information. And then I still have my groceries and menu book back here at the very end. This is almost done also, so I did order another one of these. Planner Perfect was having a Labor Day sale, so I stocked up on another one because I'm rapidly running out of pages. So anyway, that's how this is set up. So where I will do more of the plan with me and kind of another walkthrough, because this has changed a little bit, is in my half letter disc bound. So cover is still the same. The inside's pretty much still the same as well, but this will probably look a little different. So I'll just flip through quickly and then we'll stop on various sections. Because I have changed the cover. I think last time I did my setup video I had this in the back, but I decided I really did like it, so I went ahead and moved it up front. Still have this section. Actually, I have a September card somewhere. I'll find that and replace it. Still have my inbox here. Table of contents I will need to redo because I took out my dailies. So this was something I'll probably do later this afternoon. And then this is the other half of this page here. All right, so the first section is still goals. And at this point in time, I did not go back and watch my video, so I don't remember what's the same, what's different. But I do still have these layered. I have my annual goals. Again, these were free printables from Moxie Life that I just printed as a half letter size. And so I have my September goals in here. As far as August goes, most of the stuff I had in here were maintenance goals. I did get 2 of my classes finished. It actually ended up way overachieved here. I took 5 finals in the month of August, so that's why I have 3 left. I'm like almost there. I also wrapped up my last of my nominating committee obligations for the Apartment Association in San Diego. So my term as immediate past president is coming to a close. So that'll be another thing off my plate and quite a few meetings that will suddenly be off my schedule. I did post, I think 3 videos. I didn't get the last weekend just because I wasn't feeling well. So for September, we're still looking at the same sort of idea for personal goals as far as making sure I'm setting aside time for myself. I do want to start planning fall routines, and usually how I've been doing that lately is kind of how do I want my routines to make me feel. So for the summer, it was like slow and puttery. That was kind of the idea. That may be something I continue, but I want to be conscientious about it and think about that. Is that really what I want to continue, or is there something else that I want to transition to? For fun and recreation, still working on French, using Duolingo, and then I guess I can check this off. It was as fun as it could be while rolling with the migraines. Still working on videos, still working on my real estate classes, and now since I'm getting close to the end, I want to actually start working on my application because that's going to take me a little bit of time since I'm transferring in from out of state. Still need to get my passport application done. That one's rolled forward, and then planning for fall holidays and Christmas. I'm still working on trying to get movement in. Work's gotten to be a little stressful, so rather than focusing on strength training, I actually think I'm going to focus on yoga. One, it's a little more mindful. Two, it's basically body weight exercise and lifting. So same idea, but a different way of accomplishing the same thing. Other than that, everything else is kind of the same thing. So my next section is monthly. So I have a couple of layered dashboards here. And then this is September. I have not gone through and marked things out. Just if you haven't seen this before, this kind of a teal color is when I'm leaving the house, just so I know if I need to run errands, I can do things at the same time. And then black is when my husband has something. So that's kind of a cheat sheet way of looking through on this. And then these inserts are from Plan to Create. She has a store on Etsy. So that goes all the way through the end of December. I have like a 5-year forward planning thing from Anthology Notes. And then my next section is my weekly section. So this is what this last week looked like. The kit looks a little different because usually it's looking more like this. But for my birthday month, I decided to actually get a planner spot kit. So this is what I'll be using this month. So we'll come back and set that up for this month here. All right, so this next section, this was my daily section. So what I changed this to be is more of a YouTube / like side business sort of area. So I have the checklist for videos, and then I have all these ideas that I had brought forward from another planner, and this was in the back, but I just bumped it forward. So I do have these page flags here. You'll see I have several of them, and especially when I have multiple things in one section. So this has a little camera on it, which doesn't entirely fit, but since I have a DSLR and that's what I film on, hey, that works. This next section is a home section now. So I have my sourdough timelines for when I want to bake something with my sourdough starter, my cleaning routine, which I have a little page flag with a little cleaning thing on it. And these came from Cloth and Paper. These are the ones that the camera was on. And then, oh, this one here. It's these lifestyle stickers. This is where I got the cleaning icon from. They're transparent, so I know they're kind of hard to see, but so those are what I'm using on here. Oh, good enough. Let's put them back in here before I lose them. Okay, so after my cleaning section, which if you want to know more about the cleaning routine I use, I'll link it down below. I'm using the Organized Mum method, and I have a whole video about that. I have a list of things I want to tackle during Focus Fridays, kind of by area, so things that I want to do. Actually, gotten some of these done on the last month. Actually did quite a bit of work in the master bedroom last month. Let's see. Might as well update these as long as I'm looking. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything. All right, then I have some notes about Christmas 2022. So this is something that I will probably move into my other planner. Also some notes about Thanksgiving and stuff. It's just a place where I had like some thoughts that I needed to write down. So this is where it goes. Just some notes. I have a wish list tracker. So I did finally sit down and fill this out so you can kind of see how I'm using it. So I do have these kind of grouped together. So when I was trying to decide what I wanted to do for 2023, I did buy some things from the Hobonichi Techo website when that launched. And because I do use a variety of planners and I switch in and out of them, I actually went ahead and bought an A5 because I'm going to keep using that one. I bought a Hobonichi Weeks, and then I also bought an A6 because I do kind of go in and out of that for work sometimes. And then I just have some things that I might want to get. I have something for wardrobe, something for home/pets, and I think that's it, yeah. So I'm just kind of keeping them divided up a little bit. And then these inserts are the Home Refresh and Renovation inserts from Cloth and Paper. And then I have my monthly budget inserts. And let's see. Oh, this is something you probably haven't seen before. Website classyyettrendy.com. I do tend to purchase her capsule wardrobe booklets. They're ebooks that you can print off, and essentially she gives you ideas for how to put outfits together. And there are days when I'm like, I can't be bothered to dress myself, but I want to look nice. So this gives me kind of a cheat sheet way to look at my wardrobe and put combinations together that I might not normally consider. So I do have 3 of them here. She does them seasonally. So I have the Essential Capsule Wardrobe, the Teacher Capsule Wardrobe, which essentially is like a business casual sort of situation, and then a French Minimalist, which usually this is more my style, but I've kind of gotten bored with it, so I decided to kind of switch it up a little bit. So that's why I bought the other 2 this season. There's actually a whole large book. She has, you know, the clothing items you can buy if you're looking for something exactly like that. At this point in time, because my style is fairly settled and I know what colors look good on me, generally I'm looking more for silhouettes or types of shirts, a skirt for pants or whatever, and just kind of go with that. But it's more for layering ideas. But she does have kind of all of these outfits, much larger. There's 4 per page. But again, so they fit in here. I print them like 50% size. And I just print kind of the main page and then kind of her calendar of ideas. But there are actually 100 outfits, 100 outfit combinations in each ebook. So anyway, that's that right there. And then in the back, I just have a notes section. So this back part has not changed. Okay, so let's actually take a look at this week. So the other thing I did just get, because Hobonichi, as they were coming out with their new things, they put their, I think they call them, it's like desk drawer or something like that. They put them on sale on Amazon, so I actually bought one just so I had kind of a place to put things that I use and want to take with me on the go, so I had kind of a place to put them. So that's what this one is. And I love the Liberty fabrics, which this is one of the, I think it's a peacock, Luna birds or something like that. That's very pretty. And usually I can never remember pen colors, so I end up having to test them out. I think last week I used this one. Did I? Nope, I actually think I used that other one. Okay. That's the color I'm using in my Planner Perfect. And I pulled out the migraine hangover is real. So I find myself not thinking super clearly the following day. I actually have, I may have to go grab it. So Julie, when she does her insert, she sandwiches them front and back. I actually would like to keep going week to week. So I think I printed more of these. I printed another batch because I messed up a page. So I'm going to grab those really quick. Okay, I found them. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and pull out Well, actually these don't take up too much room. Maybe I'll just leave them in for right now. Maybe I'll pull them out at the end of the quarter. I'll just remember the end of September to leave the back page in. So let me see here where this ends me up. Man, I feel like I have no brain today. So this is week 5, 12, 19, 26. Excellent. So that will actually take me all the way through to the end of September. And then I will start another quarter of these. Okay. And just something I do, just kind of as a side note, when you cut your pages kind of like I do and you notice that they don't quite line up on the end, what I will actually do before I punch them is I will stack them on the outside edge so the outside edge is even. And that way any unevenness is actually forced to the inside of the page. So that's how I make it look better. And it still looks nice. All right. Now we're set. Somewhat. You can't probably see what I'm doing, but I'm making a giant mess over here. All right. So there's that. Just double check before I write this in here. Now last week she had kind of the thicker washi strips and I used those. So there's a thin of that. These are both singles and that's not going to stretch all the way across. So I think what I will do is just use these. There we go. Probably should have just grabbed scissors, but you know, whatever. It's just one of those little things that has the little tiny piece of porcelain or ceramic at the bottom. And it usually cuts fairly well, but it's also not entirely super easy because there is a bit of an offset. And I'm trying not to cut paper also because that would be my next trick. All right. So last week what I did, actually let me grab my piece of paper, is I did use kind of a this week header at the bottom, and I did like that, so I think I'm going to do that again. But I think I'm actually going to put it here. And then I used meals. And these categories are always the same. And Friday focus, because this last week was garden outside, which means we're starting over with week 1 again. So this is miscellaneous room, for me anyway, because I've changed it slightly. So I get to choose between office, living room, or guest room, which is also my husband's office. So I actually think I'm going to do living room. All right, so there's that. And I'll probably figure out some of the deco situation on that a little bit later. Now, as far as this week goes, it's actually fairly light. It's not too bad. I just realized I was looking at the wrong day. I was like, this doesn't look right. And that would be why. So with this, I'm just time blocking. This is kind of what my normal schedule looks like. Normally on Wednesday I have an accountability group meeting, but that got canceled this week, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm just going to mimic what my Tuesday schedule is. I also usually have like a workshop thing that I go to as a part of the Productive Flourishing Academy, but I'm going to skip that this week as well, just because I'm trying to get my last class wrapped up before I start teaching the Certified Apartment Manager classes in October. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of kind of a push, trying to get things done so that I am not kind of putting things off to the last minute. And I don't think anybody's asked, but I noticed the other day that I actually kind of have my Thursdays and Friday schedule kind of flip-flopped. Normally, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I do my like normal work tasks in the morning and then I study in the afternoon, but Thursday and Friday I flip-flop it. And I'm not entirely sure why I do that, but it seems to work out okay. Probably just for something a little different. And then Friday I have an executive committee meeting. So that's kind of what my week is looking like. There we go. So that is everything. So that is my week. The next thing I usually do, if you've watched my videos previously, is that I highlight and color code. Now the one thing I noticed about these colors is that that color and this one, especially when I first put them down, read really close together, and it always kind of freaks me out when that happens. So I'm probably going to grab a different color. I think last week I grabbed this one. Yeah, because that one reads a little more brown. So this pen and this one that I'm using, they're both Marvy 1122 Le Plume 2. Well, there's one in rosewood and then this one's brownish gray. So just in case you're curious. I don't really have a firm color coding. I do try and keep it similar every single week. So that is what next week looks like. And if I want to add like deco stickers in, I'll go back in and do that a little bit later. All right, so that should get me started. And as you can see, I don't spend just a ton of time working through all of these. Actually, the other thing I want to do is just make a note that I want to do yoga on those 3 days. All right, so that is this week settled as far as scheduling goes. And as I mentioned before, I'll go back and figure out what exactly we're doing for dinner. And also, as a result of that, shopping list so that I can go grocery shopping this afternoon, because, you know, having food in the house is good. Not that we're entirely out, but I like to have a mixture of fresh food and then using kind of what we have in our pantry and things like that. So that's part of what I need to take a look at because it has been cooling down a little bit finally. So I've been taking advantage of that in the rain and been making soup. So we do actually still have split pea soup to finish up. So that will probably be one of these meals. And then I will now have a bunch of pulled pork to kind of work into other things. So usually that's how my meal planning goes. I take a look and see what leftovers we still have and how can I work them into other meals so we're not just doing a flat repeat of what we already had, but how can I transition it to something else, whether it's like a pulled pork hash, or sometimes I will make leftover, what I call leftovers, shepherd's pie. So kind of whatever meat we have left over. The other thing that's really good with pulled pork is fried rice. So I'll throw whatever leftover meat we have, but for whatever reason, leftover barbecue is really good, especially ribs. Oh, leftover ribs as part of fried rice is really, really good. So Anyway, just some thoughts to get you thinking, depending on how you eat. But that is where I am right now as far as planners go. These two are kind of my main planning planners. Right now, this has really become kind of a reference. I update it once a week with what's going on for the week. I update it once a month with what my monthly goals are. And then I'm using this information as reference. So it really does not leave the house. This does leave the house, although it is getting a little scratched from the zipper on my purse. So that is why I am actually wanting to transition kind of some of the information just in the most general sense into here. So I have just kind of a high-level overview of what I have going on for scheduling purposes. I actually do really like using the Hobonichi weeks, and I don't know, I may actually do a little bit more in the Hobonichi weeks next year. It's something I'm playing with, and it's why I kind of keep a variety of planners on hand. It's kind of like what suits me right now. Like, how do I need to use the information I'm referencing as far as future planning, to-dos, that sort of thing? How does it fit my current situation best in order to make the plans I need to make and get things done? So that does change because, as I'm sure for all of you, my life is not static. I am kind of reaching the end of a transition period, coming out of spending a lot of time working on real estate classes. So my whole focus has been on time blocking and studying. Now that that's going to be wrapping up, I'm going to be transitioning again back over more into more heavily to-do based work. So with that in mind, knowing that that's going to be in about the next month, I'm trying to start thinking about it now and thinking about what best would serve me as far as making sure I get the things that I want to get done completed. So anyway, just some parting thoughts, because there are people that can stay in a planner for, an entire year. I'm not one of those, but I do try and keep most of the information fairly current. So if I need to switch from Traveler's Notebook to Moterm Weeks or into a half letter disc bound, I can without much of an issue. And, even if I decided to go straight only into a Hobonichi Cousin, because this has the weeks, that's fine. But this is a hobby, and so I enjoy playing. So that's why I can go from the weeks into this, and these look very similar, thanks to Julie with Plan to Create. She has done something very similar. So it's nice to be able to have everything in one book, a little more flexibility of adding more information, having something very small that's on the go, having a place where I can just sit and scribble out thoughts. So each one of these has a purpose, and it's about what do I need right now and how does it best serve me. So don't be afraid if you are needing to transition to something else, to experiment a little bit and see what works for you. I'm going to leave it at that. Happy September. Thank you for being patient while I recovered, since my voice was completely gone last week. I appreciate all of your patience. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like. If you enjoy this sort of planner-related content, I encourage you to consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!